Why don't you talk to your once best friend anymore? Drifted away through the years. And now we're both too changed to relate to each other. This happened to me and my friend. I miss her but we're so different now it wouldn't be the same. He got sober and kind of ghosted me. I was still drinking at the time. So I get why he wouldn't want to hang out. I got clean from hard drugs and ghosted 99% of my friends. This month is 7 years clean and I still miss some of those people. I still wonder how they are. I get random memories that I wanna call them about. I probably could call them up. But I've built a different life for myself and I'm really not the same person I used to be. I'm lonely sometimes. No one knows who I used to be. And therefore no one really understands how hard I've worked to get where I am. My point is, if your friend was a real friend then they probably miss you too. But part of growing up is being happy for each other even if it means you're happy apart. We tried to make it a romantic relationship. Us too. We ruined a perfect friendship for a terribly insecure relationship. If I regret anything, it's saying yes. Over the years he has become just an asshole. That's it. The shitty part is that as I got older and hung out with him less and less, I realized that he was always an asshole. It made him hilarious and edgy when we were in college. But we're heading into middle age and both have kids. Now he's just an asshole. With kids. I slowly realized that she just wasn't a nice person. It was such a relief when I finally admitted to myself that I didn't need to waste any of my time around someone who barely thought of anyone but herself. Same with me except I lost my entire girlfriend group because I stopped hanging out with them. I stopped hanging out with her and if she was around I chose to just not partake. They took it personally. I was tired of being the only one standing up to her. She treated everyone like shit so if that's the company they want to keep so be it. I felt a lot of weight come off my shoulders after everything went down. I miss them sometimes. But have since started to cultivate other friendships and in that have realized how toxic the old group of friends were. All he wants to do is play video games. When I try to make plans to do something like hiking or go to the beach he backs out last second. He has a bad weight problem and has asked me to help but he'll only follow my advice for 2 weeks before giving up. I told him to cut soda out of his diet and a week later he sent me a Snapchat of him buying a 24 pack of Coke. He got a subscription to the same gym as me and has only shown up once. Whenever he invites me over it ends up with me being bored while he plays games on his phone or plays League of Legends with his clan. I feel like a bad friend for not wanting to hang out with him anymore but I feel like I lose a day of my life whenever we hang out. He just stopped answering my calls. We started to drift apart after school ended. He went for life of academia and I went for life of an alcoholic. I was emotionally somewhat abusive and toxic. He did the right thing for himself and I respect him for it. Edit. Thank you for all the kind words dear random internet people. : Are you sober now? It's never too late to seek help and perhaps it's not even too late to mend your relationship with people you have lost because of your addiction. Yes. 2 months sober and addiction free, not counting Reddit, now I'm feeling better than ever. Thanks for your concern. : Banged my wife. Sounds like you lost 2 best friends. They may have ducked each other but they can go duck themselves. There's a multitude of reasons. But I think it boils down to we were proximity friends. We were friends all through middle and high school. But then college came and we both just went our separate ways. It's not that we didn't try to keep it going. We're still friends and still occasionally get together for lunch, a movie, or just to go for a walk but I don't think we will ever be best friends again. I don't think that's a bad thing. She's in a great relationship with a wonderful guy and has finally taken back control of her life from overbearing mother. I've moved from the college portion of my life to my professional path. I think that our paths were just destined to split. We grew up together all the way to our 30s. I got married and had a child. He got married. We were each other's best man in our weddings. I got divorced. He cut off all communication with me immediately right after. I asked his wife what his ducking deal is and she told me he couldn't deal with seeing me at such a low. For real? I was going through the hardest time of my life. Friends are supposed to help each other out. Right? For no reason. Right? Because that is what friends do. A 30-year friendship gone. He got in a relationship with a girl that was perfect for him. But once he got in that relationship, he abandoned all his friends and only talks to her and her friends. This is exactly what I was gonna post. Really sucks how him finding someone who made him so happy could seemingly erase all those years of us being mates. His girlfriend was also a close friend of mine. When I caught him cheating on her, they were engaged. He pleaded with me not to tell her, even though he kept it up. She started using our friendship as a convenience to use me for favors. Yeah, been there. Dropped her pretty quickly when I took a step back and looked at her motivations for coming over. Stopped doing those things, and after 2 times coming over and being denied, she dropped off the face of the planet and hasn't talked to me in a year now. Sad how little people actually appreciate your help. She got a boyfriend and started prioritizing him over everything. She would cancel our plans because he was bored. I have a friend who's like this. He expects me to cancel anything and everything when he's bored. And everything he wants to do bores me to no end. He married a woman I didn't like and she slowly turned him into a guy I didn't like. His girlfriend didn't like the fact that his best friend was a girl, so she made him delete me from everything. Had something like this happen to 2 friends. I have a close friend who's gay. And we have a mutual friend who acts kind of gay. I don't know how else to put it. He's had girlfriends. Is very straight. But cares a lot about his hair. Always has new clothes. Talks very flamboyant. Anyways, gay friend got a new boyfriend. And boyfriend sees the mutual friend and assumes he's gay. He is informed he's not. But won't believe anyone. Not only that, he assumes he's trying to steal away his man. Forces his boyfriend, my friend, to block the other guy on everything. Was really sad to see. I'm still friends with both. But I'm not as close with my gay friend anymore cause I think it was a huge douche move not to unblock him. Or even let it happen. We used to go to the same church. She decided to stay in our hometown. Get married young. Have a lot of kids. And stay in the same church. I decided to go to a Christian college, which she thought was okay as long as it meant that I was going to marry a pastor or something like that. But then she was upset when I later transferred to a secular university, and even more upset when I decided not to stay within our Christian denomination. We're actually still friends on Facebook. But she never responds to any messages I send her. I think the only reason she hasn't deleted me is because she wants to spy on me. Which is okay with me. I've got nothing to hide. Truthfully, I hope that she has a long and happy life where she is. But if it ends up that she doesn't and her husband goes crazy or something and she reached out to me for help, it'd be a full day's drive, but I'd go get her and her kids pedal to the metal the whole way. And bring them up to my place. I've got new friends now and I wouldn't throw any of them under the bus just to help an old friend. But her and I went through some craziness together. And sometimes I wish we still talked. She was in a ducked-up relationship with a much older guy. I could be here all day if I gave details. But basically he was very emotionally, and I also suspect physically and sexually, abusive. I eventually convinced her to leave him. Which she did after multiple attempts. He harassed her for a while after they broke up, and then one day, he just stopped. He never attempted to contact her again. She completely fell apart. Even though she knew he was a bad guy. She desperately wanted him to love her. She had been abused by a family member when she was younger, and I think she associated abuse with love. So when he stopped abusing her, in her mind, he had stopped loving her. She blamed me and cut me out of her life. She told me on my 20th birthday that she would get back together with him, and there was nothing I could do to stop her, and that's the last time we spoke. They never got back together. As far as I know. I hope she managed to get help with her issues and never ends up in a relationship like that again. I truly miss her and wish we were still friends. Because we went through so much together. I love her like a sister and I hope that one day she realizes that everything I did was because I couldn't stand to see her hurt. TLDR, she blamed me when her abusive boyfriend stopped contacting her. We both started a relationship around the same time and both kind of chose a guy over each other. Which I regret. Went to message her on Facebook the other day and she had deleted me. Welp. She got cool. She plays bass in a successful rock band. Has a bunch of piercings and tattoos. Works at Rolling Stone. And hangs out with her musician and hipster friends now. I'm still a nerd. Dan is the highlight of my week. I'm a filthy weeaboo who watches more Crunchyroll than Netflix. The most expensive thing that I own is a snazzy dining room table that has a board gaming surface underneath. Basically, we grew apart. We're friends on Facebook. But we have so little in common now that we really only have the past to talk about. She ducked my ex-boyfriend. He wasn't yet my ex-boyfriend at the time. I went to visit him at his college, about 2,500 miles away, and ended up having sex a few times with a girl in his circle of friends. The next time he came home, he didn't call me or anything. And I ended up seeing him out one night with his new girlfriend from college, the girl I had sex with a few months before. I thought it was petty of him to no longer speak to me about it, since he was pretty much the one who set me up with her when I visited. The odd thing is, I lost touch with him after we all moved on. And about 6 years later he called me out of nowhere and asked me to be in his wedding. Different girl. We sort of patched things up. But it was never the same. I haven't seen or talked to him in about 10 years now. She ate my leftover taco I was keeping in the fridge. I told her I don't want to be married to her anymore. We haven't spoken in 30 minutes. Convinced me to lie for him to cover his tracks when he cheated on his GF. I only agreed because he has a young daughter and I didn't want her to grow up without a dad. After the fact, I realized he always took advantage of my kind-hearted nature and was never really my friend. I was just enabling him to be a sheety bottom feeder. I'm much happier now with him out of my life. It was all for the best. I have known him for 8 years and over the last 3 he has become a hopeless alcoholic. He drinks on average 5/5 a week and I almost never see him sober. Also yes, his friends, including me, have intervened to no avail and his family including his sister who flew up from Chile have intervened again to no avail. He died almost 2 years ago in a car accident. The day is still burned into my memory. I couldn't process it at the time. My mind just rejected the notion outright. He was my best friend since middle school. I loved him like a brother. She started hanging out with the wrong group of people. They're not criminals or anything. But she fell hard into the cosplay community with a written of drama and are just really superficial about appearances. Now all she does all day is look and act cute. I guess she's relatively popular though. She has a FB page where she complains about life and looks for validation. There's always a horde of fans ready to comment and stroke her ego and as a result she has no idea how to deal with a reality where strangers are tripping over themselves to help and praise her. Hanging out with her is such a pain now. It's like my best friend is gone. She skips around making cute little anime Yugumo noises. And is always posing and acting cute. Sometimes I just want to slap her and tell her she's ducking 28. Will you knock it off already? Your life is a ducking train wreck. Get it together and at least you'll still have something to salvage out of it when you're too old for this shit and your fans move on to the next young cute girl to freak out over. Because my social anxiety makes me lazy in regards to talking to people. If someone doesn't make plans for me to be somewhere, I'm going home and playing games. I hate it. But also can't be bothered to do anything about it most of the time. Stole from me. It seems funny to me that someone will throw years of friendship and memories out the window for a little over $100. We used to be neighbors growing up and had a great friendship until I heard about him raping a girl while away at college. Honestly, I wasn't too surprised he did it. He had a horrible drinking problem and fancied himself quite a ladies' man. When I heard the disgusting details, I cut off all contact. One died. One raided my partner's panty drawer. One became a crazy alcoholic. One got married and I moved, not because he got married. Now I have acquaintances because it's easier to get over it. My once best friend is still my best friend. But there isn't much time to be best friends right now. Because our friendship is not measured by the daily conversations we have but by the single conversation that has lasted 30 years and will continue to last. Even after one of us has died. Life happens. There is shit to do. Things that require our time and attention. Situations that may not be ideal but we deal with because it's important. But whether it be a day, a month, a year, or years, when we do talk, that conversation continues as if we've never stopped. Our friendship is less about catching up and more about just being together and enjoying the memories we've made and the ones we are making. We just became so different. I was maybe 15 the last time we really hung out. She was very straight-laced. Things started changing when I started partying. And she stayed very focused on her studies. I miss her. Though at this point, we're so different. I'm not sure we would even really like each other that much if we hung out now. When his girlfriend broke up with him, he began sending subtle hints that he wanted us to be friends with benefits. But that a relationship would never be in the cards. When I didn't agree to it, it became obvious that our whole friendship had been about the excitement of what if. Once that question was answered in real life, the friendship was basically on life support. The nail in the coffin was when he showed up super late to hang out with me, leaving me sitting alone at a restaurant for over 30 minutes. Then spun it so I was the villain for being upset that he had been late. That was the last time I saw him. Religion. We didn't talk about it for a long time and then for her birthday one year her mom thought it would be smart to invite my friend's Baptist buddies to the sleepover. These girls stayed up until 2 AM singing religious songs and I tried to sleep by drowning them out with Tool. I think the rift was formed that night. Met online when we were 13/14. Friends for almost 10 years. Video games kept us close as we were worlds apart. Met a few times IRL and she was pretty chill. We texted one another more than I care to actually admit to. Were best of friends even during all of our relationships. Didn't really care for a romantic relationship until our mid-20s. Joined a new guild and eventually she found someone who piqued her interest. Still didn't care. I enjoyed the friendship, ton of common interests. They spent pretty much every second with one another. Was completely cut out. When I wasn't able to be online at specific times when he wasn't online I was the bad guy that didn't want to be friends anymore. 10-year friendship down the drain over not being able to log in at 3 AM to play games. Been a few years now but I do miss her. But not going to become the third wheel to her relationship. Sucks. And I feel like I wasted a lot of time. Hitting play proves it, but that's life. Still don't have a best friend I can really talk to. Feel like I'm past that age now. But it is what it is. It started with him becoming a Trump supporter, which was fine. I have friends of all different political persuasions and we regularly debate on Facebook. But his defense of Trump kept becoming more insulting and belligerent. Accuse everyone of ignorance for believing mainstream media lies about Trump. And then he began an anti-Muslim crusade. Constantly arguing about how dangerous Muslims were. Arguing for their genocide. Praising Saddam Hussein and Dut for killing Muslims. Just toxic, terrible stuff. I got tired of debating with him. He never listened to anything people said. Or defended his ideas. Just insulted everyone who disagreed. I realized my debates with him were just strengthening his resolve and providing a negative affect in my life. So I told him why I was unfollowing him. And that if he ever wanted to have a civilized discussion he was welcome to message me. It's been 5 months. He hasn't.